Hi everyone! In my last video I talked about how my husband got the UK talent visa, and now we have UK residency. And today I want to talk about probably the hardest part of this whole journey, finding a job. Because job searching in the UK turned out to be much harder than we expected. When my husband got the visa approval, we immediately felt a wave of fear because at that moment we understood now everything becomes real. Now we need to find a job, now we really need to prepare for moving. And at the same time, something happened that we wanted very much, and also something we were very afraid of. Because we never worked abroad before. Well, actually, if I'm honest, I had this experience before. I worked on a cruise ship, but it was very different. I got that job through an agency, through a middleman, and it felt safer. You understood there was somebody between you and the employer, but here we still have not found anything like that. Even through we would be happy too. At first, psychologically, maybe it was a little easier for me than for my husband because I understood that most of the responsibility was on him, that he was the person who needed to do most of the work now. But at the same time, it was difficult for me in another way, because I felt dependent on the situation. Like I also wanted changes very much, but I couldn't really to do much myself. And this caused anxiety and irritation inside me. Sometimes I even wanted to push my husband more, so he would do even more, be even more active, even so logically I understood that he was already doing a lot. Sometimes we even argued because of this. Did we think finding a job would be easy? No, but I think we still thought it would be easy than reality. We understood it was a difficult process. We knew we would need to work hard, that this was a completely new level for us. But I'm the kind of person who believes that if you keep doing something, step by step, there will be a result. So I thought, yes, it's difficult, but we just need to continue, not stop, do something every day. And of course, my husband has global talent status, and honestly, for us, this also gave hope. Because not many people have this status. And my husband already has many years of experience. He worked in international company, he constantly studies new things, prepares for interviews, learns English. He is not a person who just sits and waits for a miracle. So, of course, we thought a job would come eventually. But now active job searching has already been going on for around 4 months and still no offer. And reality turned out to be completely different. It's hard to name one exact moment when we understood how difficult everything was. It happened slowly. When you send applications again and get nothing, absolutely nothing. Only automatic emails, your application has been received. That's all. And this affects you mentally very strongly, because after some times you start feeling like nobody sees you. My husband also had consultation with a career professional. They worked on his CV, applications, interview, preparation, and for us it was a noticeable amount of money, we really hoped it would speed up the process. But after all this consultation, nothing changed dramatically. There were not more replies, not more interviews, and this also very frustrating, even annoying, because now there are many services that promise help, but nobody is really responsible for the result. And somehow all responsibility always stays with you. And when you pay money, of course you expect at least some result. And this feeling when you invest time, energy, effort, money, and almost nothing changes, it's very difficult emotionally. Right now we don't even count applications and rejections anymore. At some point you just stop seeing the point, because often there are not even rejections. There is just no answer at all. And probably the hardest part is the feeling that you cannot search anyone. Like you are under a glass jam. You write to people on LinkedIn, at recruiters, comment on posts, search for vacancies, read chats and websites. You constantly do something, but it feels like nobody notices you. And psychologically, it's very difficult. How does job searching affect our life? Honestly, right now it's hard to find something positive in it. It's a constant process of trying to pull yourself out of anxiety and frustration. Every day you almost need to force yourself to continue. And probably the worst thing isn't being able to make plans. Because our main goal now is moving, and because of this we don't really want to make big plans here. We try to save more money, not make big purchases, not start something huge, because every decision has this thought behind it: what if we move soon? And because of this we are in very strange situation between two lives. And sometimes it honestly makes me so angry. But you know what's interesting? Recently I started thinking more and more. Maybe I'm already ready to just move without work. Just try. Live on savings and search for jobs already there. Because personally, I'm ready to work almost anywhere. The only thing that scares me is my English. My English is still weak. Even for these videos, I fully write the text before recording. But besides that, I'm ready for almost any job. A clothing store, a coffee shop, anywhere. Because I already want to remove this bandage and finally start living this life there. Because right now it feels like we stuck between two worlds, and this in-between stage is the most frustrating thing. Sometimes I think about people who move without documents, without guarantees, just because they want a different life so badly. And I think, my gosh, we already have everything. We already have the right to live and work in the UK. But still, the fear of moving without a job is huge. And maybe this is exactly why we continue doing at least something every single day. For example, today the weather was warm and beautiful, we went for a walk, but between walks we still sat on LinkedIn, liked posts, wrote comments, looked for vacancies. So even during our normal personal time, this story is always somewhere in the background. because this really is our dream. We really want to live in another country, especially in an English-speaking country. Right now, both of us study English with teachers, and we continue moving forward because we already went thought such a huge journey. And stopping now would feel like betraying everything we already did. So, yes, we are still in the process. I still don't know how this story will end, and this is exactly why I want to continue make these videos, because this is not a story after success, this is a story during uncertainty. It's happening right now in real time, and you are watching it together with us. Thanks for your watching, subscribe to the channel, and let's continue this journey together.